Some weeks ago we discussed with you the idea that you would understand at some point that you are all one. Now, this is not a new concept. Every single one of you has heard these words put together into a sentence before. So this isn't something that's new to you, and we don't expect that you would find it new. What we are meaning by the idea that you are all one is this. In the beginning, from the outset, this experience was crafted to bring a collection of experience forward for the knowingness of the complete brotherhood, let's call it, to expand. You have this thing you call the Akashic Records. We can just imagine, maybe it's easier to imagine a library. You all know what those look like. And each of you is writing a book. And that library's collection is expanded by each page you write in your book. And each book that's put into the library expands the collection. And each and every one of you has a different perspective on any experience. Therefore, your book and your pages in your book are unique. And as your library becomes more and more full, imagine then that the library, the collection of every book, every page and every word is the all, the oneness. And then maybe you can visualize that you're all one and that how you fit into that kind of a picture. The beauty here is that when you're not busy being a human, you have the ability to go around and look at everybody else's books, and that's not considered rude or nosy. It's considered the whole point of the thing. And you get the opportunity to say, how did that go for that other person? It's interesting because you care more and less about things that seem important now that you think, what was that person thinking? When you're not busy being human, you can go and look it up. And sometimes you really want to, and sometimes you think, why did I ever care about that? It can go both ways. So it's fun to see which ones go that way and which ones go the other way. Now, when you're out in the world and you're walking down the street or driving your car or on the internet or whatever you're doing, and you hear people or see people doing things that make absolutely no sense to you, you might think, there's no way I'm all one with you. I can't understand you. And you might, as a light worker, think, oh, well, I'll send you love and blessings anyway. Or you might, as a human, say, and I think you're an asshole, right? You can go lots of different ways with that, too. But the way we'd like to start inviting you to go is this. I see you doing something I don't want to do. Good. Then it'll be in the library without me having to do it. Good. Okay? I see you doing something that I don't want to do. Excellent. It'll be in the library. Now, if, let's say, let's pick something that happens a lot. Voting, right? Lots of people vote in various kinds of things. So in the library, there are many, many pages about voting. Many, many pages about voting. Okay? So now, in your world, some people have an extraordinary amount of passion about casting their ballot for whatever is going on, and other people don't even bother. And some people have real judgment about that. Why the hell do you bother voting? It's a waste of time. The other people are like, I can't believe you don't vote. That's absolutely absurd to me. You have the right to vote and you don't use it, right? So you can get very impassioned by how other people are writing the pages in their books. This is what we typically refer to as a waste of time. Unless it's helping you grow, unless it's teaching you about you, being impassioned by other people's decisions about what to write in their book is usually you ignoring what's in your lap. Now, you can say, I don't think that that type of behavior should go on, and I want to work to change that kind of behavior. Sure, okay. If working to change that kind of behavior is the way you're working out your own stuff, great. But if you're working to change someone else's behavior while ignoring your own inner conflicts, then it's time for that to change. It's time for you to change that perspective, because you're really not doing anyone any good. When you ask people to change without first having cleared out your own business, all you're doing is saying, be different because I say. You're not saying, I have chosen a different path and it's worked for me, and perhaps she would like it as well. It's really easy to be righteous, and it's really easy to say, wow, I read this book and it really helped me. You should read it too. It's really easy. Elohim calls it shaking shoulders. You know, you walk into a room and you shake people's shoulders and you tell them, hey, I know something cool. Or you need to do it different. Or you're wrong. Depending on where you are in the path of ascension. None of that's a good idea. Only because usually you're having to reach over a big issue in your life to get your hands on the other person's shoulders. You're reaching over the issue in your life to get your hands on their shoulders. We're always going to take it back to what is in your lap. It's never going to come away from what is in your lap. Until you're able to see how what is in your lap is what you're contributing to the all. You see? A lot of times we've talked many, many, many times about service mentality and how it can kind of screw you up. Can get you off track, can wear you out. And so many times this idea we're talking about, service mentality, throws you off track because you're wanting to help so much that you help everyone else other than yourself. And you don't give yourself the ability, the time, the consideration to write your own book. You're too busy reaching around and trying to write and erase in other people's books. It is not your place to write and erase in others' books. What you do is you write in your book about what you're perceiving from others. I see someone else doing X, Y, Z. God, that really helps me clarify that I don't want X, Y, Z in my life. But you don't go mucking around in their book and saying, no, no, tear out that page. You don't want that page in your book.
Right.
When you look at your life and you look at the lives of your friends and neighbors and partners, when you find something in their life that you think should be different, use that as a cue to look into your own life and see why that triggers you. This is how you start to know you're all one. Because when you see someone doing something and you think they're doing that, and you don't bring it back to, I must be doing some version of it as well, they seem like a stranger instead of like someone who is in community with you or in communion with you. So this little idea is twofold. It helps you to remember to attend to what's in your lap. It gives you a visual for when you're writing in other people's books. And it helps you feel like you're all one and know the truth of all one when someone's doing something you absolutely cannot conceive of, and you turn it into, what am I doing that is similar but maybe much smaller in intensity, or is a trigger that brings up. Whatever it is that makes you notice that person doing whatever it is, there's something in you that's generating that connection. And whatever that connection is what we would love for you to be exploring rather than mucking around in their business. And that's about all we have to say on that for tonight. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.